You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 202, 3 Truths About Your Breakup. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, Breakup Coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful Bravehearts. I am still not used to the 200s, like in the episode numbers. I keep saying, welcome to the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast. We are listening to episode 1 something, but then I realize we're in the 200s. It's crazy. So I am so excited today. We get to talk about 3 truths about your breakup. And I want to talk about truths just kind of in general because I am starting to look at them differently. I spend a lot of my time coaching my Bravehearts around what is true and what's not true. And this really isn't isolated to heartbreaks and breakups. I see this all over in all areas of our life. We're looking for like what's true versus what's not true because I can't believe something that's not true. And yeah, a lot of time is being spent thinking about what's seemingly true and what's seemingly untrue. And I think I actually did a podcast episode about this. I think it's episode 44, What He's Saying Isn't True. I think that's a whole other episode. But I personally was also getting coached in my own coaching program, and I realized I was asking my coach, she listed off some statements about my business. And I go, but is that true? And in that moment, I was like, whoa, I find truth in anything. Anything I want to be true, I'll find truth in it. And so it really isn't about what's true or what's not true. It's honestly just more about what do I want to believe intentionally and on purpose, because that's what creates how we feel, not what's true or not true. And honestly, you know what I'm realizing, y'all, as I'm nearing 33, nearing 34, is that the best things don't actually come from what's true, but it comes from what someone delusionally believed in. Isn't that crazy to think about? Flying, the iPhone, electricity, those things weren't true until someone delusionally believed in them and committed to creating them. It's called inventing. So crazy. We spend so much time thinking about what's true versus what's not true in our statements instead of just saying, what am I inventing? So that's the side of science I would like to be on, is like inventing. There's a lot of things happening in my life right now. Actually, I take that back. Not a lot of things happening in my life right now, but I've been manifesting a lot and it's been super fun. I want to be a millionaire mama. I want to have a multi-million-dollar business that I also am a mom, like a physical human baby mom. I'm a Tinkerbell mom. We've got Tinkerbell 130 pounds. Anyways, I was thinking about, breakup truths because we talk about it a lot inside of the Get Over Your Ex program. And I was thinking about 3 truths about your breakup that are really important to understand, and I wanted to share them with you. And not only that, I wanted to help you kind of cultivate and create your own truths that help you and serve you throughout your journey. Are we ready? They come up for my clients a lot. So the first one I want to talk about is you want your ex back and you know you deserve better. This comes up a lot. I have a lot of clients that are like, I know I deserve to be with someone who treats me better. I know I deserve to be with someone who wants to be with me. And at the same time, they want their ex back. And they make that mean all kinds of things. It creates a lot of conflict in their brain, and they have a hard time holding both of those beliefs true at the same time. But both of them are allowed to be in your brain at the same time. It's totally true that you want your ex back, and you also know you deserve better, and that's okay. Don't make it a problem. The second truth is it was great until it wasn't, right? It's not like you stayed in the relationship when it wasn't great. You might do that after, you've been in the relationship for a while, but like if it started off really bad, typically you don't stay in the relationship. And so normally it starts off really great, and it's great until it isn't. and that's okay. The third truth is you want them to change, yet you want them to want to change. Am I right? How many of us are listening and that's us? You want them to change, yet you want them to want to change. And I get it. I feel you. I understand. Now, what I want you to notice about all three of these is that they're almost like and statements. Like the first part of the statement is one thing and the second part of the statement is the opposite thing. And two things can be true at the same time. And have you ever noticed that? Instead of living in the either or, have you tried living in the and, where two contradicting things can be true at the same time? Our brains are really good at I can never say this word. Putting things in boxes. Compartmentalizing. I can't say it, you guys. But our brain is really, really good at boxing things into boxes and keeping them separate. And so that's why our brain wants to be in like this black or white, all or nothing thinking, either or. But we live in a gray world. We live with so much and. Two things can be true at the same time. And instead of living in the either or, I would love to invite you in to living in the and, where two contradicting things can be true at the same time, and that's okay. I want you to figure out your 3 breakup truths. My client today in our coaching session really inspired today's episode because we were sitting there coaching. It was in our last check-in call, and he mentioned that, we were working on some things, reducing desire, reducing attachment, anger. And it really came up that as he's like working through all this stuff with me on our call, he goes, Dorothy, I know 3 things are true. I know that she did the best she could. She has stuff she's working on that I can't force her to do. And I'm not here to fix other people. And these were his truths that he kept coming back to. And when he came back to those things, he was reducing desire and attachment and moving forward in his life. And you can have your own truths that help you move forward. Beliefs you already believe in and see the truth in. So how do we create our own breakup truths? I want you to think about the one thing you keep saying to yourself that is creating a lot of desire for your ex or attachment to your ex. Maybe a part of the breakup story you keep saying to yourself or to others that generate a lot of pain or suffering. These thoughts and sentences in your brain or sentences that you say out into the world are not facts. They are optional. And those optional sentences are creating emotion. And does that sentence serve you in that are you feeling an emotion that fuels productive action? Or is it a sentence that fuels an emotion of unproductive action? For example, he was perfect. Now, when I am someone going through a breakup and I'm thinking he was perfect and I'm no longer in a relationship with that person, I feel not good, right? I feel like I'm missing out on something. I feel sad. I feel upset. And when I feel those things, I find myself participating in behaviors like stalking his social media, thinking about him, worrying about what he's up to, ruminating and like reminiscing on the past, worrying about my future, worrying about what I'm missing out on. It's like a classic not getting over your ex experience. Versus when we add the alternative truths to this statement, there are many options. Now we can always create a new truth, or we can add to the truth and have those two contradicting things happening at the same time, like we mentioned before. So here are some options that we could try on. He was perfect until he wasn't. He was perfect, but not for me. He was perfect, but not perfect for me. He was perfect, and so am I. He was perfect until I realized he's actually human. There's so many truths. And there's truths to all of that. You could find the truth in all of those statements that I just listed. And really it just comes down to which one feels in alignment to you. Which one feels lighter and more true than the original statement? Which one feels action that propels you forward and brings you back to yourself? Finding these alternative truths, learning to live in this world of and, these are all choices in your day-to-day that matter. And they are all available to you. I want to know which truth will you go with, because the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. And as I say that, you know what's really fascinating? I'm just coming to this conclusion as I'm speaking it out here. Another way you can put this is that the quality of your truths determine the quality of your life. They don't even have to be true for other people yet. They need to be true to you. Isn't that kind of crazy to think about? It's not if the thought is true or not true. It's more about, what is my truth? Because my truths are my beliefs that I choose to believe in intentionally and on purpose, that cultivate my feelings and fuel my action, that then result in my results. They don't have to be other people's truths for me to have my own. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Your ex doesn't have to agree with your truths. It's just you. You have to make that your reality. It's almost like we can start thinking about truths as equivalent to thoughts. Instead of, is a thought true or not? It's just, this is my truth. I hope that was helpful for you today. I've been thinking a lot about this. I know it's more of a meta concept, so if you're new to the podcast, I do apologize. I probably should have said this at the beginning. Thoughts create feelings. Those feelings fuel action. And the action creates results in your life. And all of the thoughts that we choose to believe in are optional. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast for more episodes like this. And if you found any of our episodes helpful, we would love a written review on the Apple Podcast app to help other heartbroken humans turn their pain into power and their heartbreak into happy. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.